Hello, my name is William Roger Blacking. This is my theory of the beginning of the beginning of the universe. Most common theories out there. First of all, I am not a scientist. I don't have a PhD, doctorate, and master's. I don't have any of that. So, yeah, this is just a theory I thought of while reading the updated version of that I'm renting from the Pasco Public Library, of the updated version of Stephen Hawking's book, A Briefer History of Time, published back in 2005. So the information is obviously going to be a little bit, outdated by about 11 years, but it's probably still relevant to it. So, getting back to my point. According to that, I stumbled across my idea came from when they noticed that the universes are, in the book, they noticed that the universes were speeding up, and they couldn't explain that, and that's when it just hit me. The theories that they posted out there, there's several out there with the universes. One theory is that all the universe is going to be, all the galaxies and universes, all the galaxies are constantly moving. You, right now, listening to this, you're still spinning. The people that know this will look at me, wow, he's freaking retarded. Duh. People that don't know this, that's the reason why. You sitting here right now, you're now moving faster than Usain Bolt, or whoever the title currently is for the world's fastest man. For the world's fastest man in the world, who ran the mile in, 4 minutes, we think. But the point is, the Earth is constantly rotating. It takes 1 second on average, depending on its current position in space. It's kind of funny. Its current position in space, you move about 20 miles. 20 miles in 1 second. So just sitting here, listening to me rambling, at the 20-second mark, you've moved, you can do the math, on average 20 miles at 22 seconds. But getting back to my point is, they can't figure out why the universes are speeding up for that particular reason. They can't think of anything. The theories out there are the universes will eventually slow down and everything becomes static, or eventually everything will stop and gravity will take over, and then, sorry, my bad. First, one of the theories is the universe will keep expanding forever because it's infinite. And, so it keeps expanding ever because it's infinite. The second theory is the universes, or all galaxies, will eventually slow down and stop and become stagnated, so everything stops moving. And the third theory is, this is again at the end of time, all universes will eventually stop moving altogether, and then gravitational forces will now take over and then force all the galaxies to basically combine into it, doing a reverse Big Bang. That'd be a giant implosion. So there's 3 universes, or actually, but again, that feeds into another thing of it. So again, going with the Big Bang, like I said, most common ones out there are the at least 3 I can think of, or technically 4. One of them is kind of a linchpin, and the other one, just so they can get back in the public school system, would be the Big Bang theory is one theory, where eventually something, boom, everything exploded. And thus, the universe you're in now, depends on the definition of universe, there. So yes, boom, explosion, and then thus the universe. Another theory is that God, a all-powerful, all-seeing individual, created the universe. Yeah. And another one is that it was the creation theory. So a being of a higher power created all the universe. So technically the third one feeds back into going back to God. Yeah. Whatever, you'll find out in this video. My theory, like I said when reading that book, it is, everybody can, since they can't figure that out or explain why the universes themselves, I keep keep going farther away and moving faster. My theory is it's a slow burn. It's the easiest way to call it. I would probably end up calling it would be the slow burn theory. Basically, my idea, or not idea, theory. Yes, my theory of the universe. It started off as basically we were hovering around absolute zero. Absolute zero is like what I think negative 400 and something degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. I will be corrected out in the comments. I can see it now. Just this guy doesn't know what it was. Talk about. Correct me, please, and thank you. But yeah, we were hovering around absolute zero. So people who are watching this that don't know what absolute zero is, basically the atoms that make up the universe, they stop moving. So they stop vibrating and they slow down when they get colder until they hit absolute zero, where there's no movement whatsoever, thus causing no heat. So my theory starts off as, and also when I got further into the book, the most common element out there is hydrogen, and they don't know why that's the most common element. Again, it's probably been theorized why this is and all that. My theory is that our universe started off as a giant sphere or whatever geometrical device you want to imagine. So you can insert your own geometrical thought of what you want it to be, but for me it'd be a sphere. It'd just be a lot easier, and thus it's just a giant sphere and filled with nothing but helium. Helium itself is a combustible item, element, sorry. God, this is never ending. What it is basically we are in a giant sphere of helium itself in a base. It's hovering around absolute zero. Again, I said hovering. I'm not saying we were at absolute zero, because then nothing would work. But again, we're hovering at a sphere of absolute zero itself. Thus, something happened. It's just like a spark. A spark happened that caused chain reaction. I can't think of anything that would cause it, but since I believe it's an unstable element, please correct me if I'm wrong. If it is, thank you very much. My theory would be that eventually, since something caused it to heat up, and we've been moving up from absolute zero, it would start causing stuff to then expand itself out. Since it's expanding itself out further and further and further, thus the galaxies now eventually would, like a fire, you're going to have people using it as an analogy, not actual fire. And then again, space and fire sound pretty cool. Sorry. Eventually, like I said, it would just, something would cause it to, stuff will start just branching out, picking up speed and momentum. Having this thus and said would cause the atoms and all this stuff would start spinning together, causing gravitational forces to compound on each other, thus making them more attracted to other items or other elements in the universe, thus creating the planets and thus forming the galaxies itself from whatever is left around after everything settles down. After that, the galaxy starts forming up, and when that's done, it'll just constantly start spinning and 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 spinning until, obviously, since Newton's law of gravity states that any item or any object in motion will stay in motion until he acted upon a force of equal or greater greater force acted upon it. So, thus, my theory is the universe would have to somewhat fall into it, but again, it would be into end goal would be the universe would be continuously expanding, due to the sheer fact that since it keeps moving and moving and moving, it's there's no way for it to stop because there's no force outside of it, or at least outside of another galaxy bumping into it, and then thus that would cause that internal explosion on that galaxy, thus causing it to start. I don't think it would be the end of the universe and all, but I'm obviously going to still have to think about this and see what's going on. I'll hopefully have updates to my theory. If you have any updates or any ideas or thoughts, please post them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. Yeah, that is, again, my theory. It's, like I said, I call it a slow burn theory. Thank you for sitting here listening to me ramble like a madman. Go back about maybe 400 years ago, and we'd all be burned at the stake for that one. Good night, and good luck.